All right, we'll call today's meeting of the HTRFA to order. Dusty, will you call the roll, please?
Ms. Hutton? Here. Mr. Bellamy?
Here.
Chair Trivett?
Here.
Vice Chair Stevens?
Here.
Mr. Fuller?
Here.
Mr. Carnifax?
Here.
All right, first item on our agenda is approval of the minutes, and I know that we did find an error earlier today, made a slight change to them, but nothing material. Is there a motion for approval or discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve as revised.
Second.
Ms. Hutton?
Aye.
Mr. Bellamy?
Aye.
Chair Trivett?
Aye.
Vice Chair Stevens?
Aye.
Mr. Fuller?
Aye.
Mr. Carnifax?
Aye.
All right, next is board member announcements, and if everybody doesn't mind, I'll go first. I just wanted to announce we're excited to have our new HTRFA Executive Director, Dana Yost, start with us on Monday, August the 18th. Dana comes to us after a pretty intensive interview process that we like to use. She's coming from the town of Kinley, North Carolina, where she served as Park and Recreation Director. She's got 20 years of government experience that's focused on Parks Recreation, both in the town of Kinley and with Raleigh, North Carolina. She served as a program specialist in specialized recreation services, teen program director, and coordinator of the Raleigh Sports Consortium. She's going to be in charge of the HTRFA's daily operations and asked to work to enhance Greater Williamsburg's appeal as a premier recreation destination. She'll also serve as the liaison between the HTRFA board and all of our contractors, Parks Recreation staff, and the 3 Greater Williamsburg localities. So we're excited to have Dana come on board and help us organize the HTRFA hopefully a little bit better and improve communication. Anything you all would like to add?
I'd just say I'm really excited to have her coming on board. She's got a lot to learn. We're a good place, but there are a lot of us and
right.
a lot going on, and so I think she'll be a great addition and look forward to having her here.
I know that Dusty and I are super excited not to have to do the agendas anymore. So that's going to be great. Awesome. All right. Any other board member announcements? No? Okay. We'll move on to reports. Financial report. Ms. Dameron.
Yes, beginning with the statement of net position, I just wanted to highlight a few new things you might notice. One is I now have recorded the deposits that have been collected, about $27,000. You'll also note that we now have a lease asset net of accumulated amortization on the report. That is the ground lease, and that we also have an offsetting lease liability. You will note the liability is a little more than the asset. That has to do with GASB, and it's simply because right now what we're actually paying is less than the implicit interest rate, so that tends to increase the liability. That will be something we'll see happen and increasing between now and 2030, and then it will revert and go the other way, and at the end of the term, everything will wash out. So just thought I'd mention that because that might draw some questions. And then you'll also note that I've separated our financial report revenues, expenses, and changes in net position into operating revenue and operating expenses as well as non-operating, and I also have segregated HTRFA expenses and Kemper expenses for your convenience. And so for the month, we have a deficit of about $129,000, but that's because I just billed yesterday the contributions from the locality, so we'll see that turn around next month, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Ms. Dameron? I just wanted to point out while we're talking about finances that, during the budget adoption process, we talked about closing out the financing for the project with a final borrowing. We'll probably bring that forward maybe in September if it's ready. I think there's still some question about demolition costs and whatnot, and if we can get those resolved, which is my hope over the next 30 days, we'll try to get that wrapped up. All right, we won't have an executive director's report this month, but maybe next month, and that brings us to the operator's report.
All right, good afternoon. Oh, there we go. Rookie mistake. Ben Hardwin, General Manager at the Greater Williamsburg Sports and Events Center. Super excited to present our operators report We've got some great things to share. And John DeMeglio, as you know, is our Vice President of Operations.
Here to be the bodyguard.
So we'll start with the FF&E report. We are working collaboratively with MEB, Todd, and the rest of the group to continue to procure quotes for the FF&E needed for the building, and as is assigned to us. We have new chair quotes that came in. We've got some other items that we're putting together according to our specs, and we expect that to be finalized in the next 2 weeks. We are working to finalize the wayfinding and directional signage throughout the facility to create a better experience for our patrons. And so we feel like that's coming together nicely and expect to kind of have the proposals and everything in place very shortly so we can act on that. All right. So operationally, is there a trumpet fanfare button or something? Because we're achieving liftoff here. We have 2 key pieces that we've added to our team we're very excited about. Heidi Hume is our sales and marketing manager. She has already started. And Antonio Gonzalez is our sports and operations manager, and he begins on Monday. Just as a sort of a line of delineation, Heidi will be focused on conventions and conferencing and kind of what we call our non-sport events, and a lot of the local sponsorship opportunities and things that are created with this facility. While Antonio will be working to lean into the sports side, bringing in organic things that we grow within the facility, but as well as working regionally and nationally with Visit Williamsburg to procure those multi-day events from the sporting aspect. So he begins on Monday. His background is in doing just that. So we feel like we have a powerhouse team that's ready to really take this to the next level from where it's been up to this point. So just some bullet points. Obviously, I just mentioned we hired both of those key management positions. We now have an activated facility phone line, which is listed there. It goes to a phone tree that will share all the amenities and things that we have, but in truth, it all comes back to me at the moment. So, but eventually that'll branch out as we add new managers and key positions. I have met with all the municipality parks and rec departments and spent quality time talking through the programming and the expectations and how we can best serve those different entities. That is an ongoing dialogue. I meet with York tomorrow. Ms. Hutton and I have things on the books where we're talking regularly, and with James City County as well, as far as, again, how we can best serve those different municipalities and as we move forward, provide a great service for our local residents. All of our social media channels are activated, and I'll get to that when we get to the marketing side, but we're very excited to start to bring sort of a digital presence that will continue to grow as Heidi builds content and schedules out our marketing calendar. I will be attending a conference in Miami along with Visit Williamsburg to represent the facility. We've got 30 appointments already set up with potential key events right holders and
60 appointments.
60 total.
So
Yep.
30 that are
30 and
sports
30.
related, and then 30 that are more
That's
conference
right.
and convention.
That's right. All within the context of sharing our facility and creating an interest in bringing people to the area for consideration for their events. So, been working very closely with the Superlative Group to partner with them as far as the efforts to drive sponsorship opportunities. And, you know, some of it we have worked with, and we've got local relationships that we've built, and obviously they have as well, so we're working to partner with them and kind of share resources and bring as much sponsorship revenue and exposure to the facility as possible. So just sort of a high level, we're on track as far as our task management, as hiring, bringing together the marketing pieces, phone line, and so forth. We are continuing to onboard our management staff, and now I'm beginning to peel back the layers to get into the operational side of building SOPs, the emergency action plan, and some of the experience portions of our facility. So that will be a continued effort. that we're excited about. So marketing and sales. This is kind of, again, a high-level overview. We've added some pieces to this since we actually submitted this update. But we have seen an exponential rise in interest over the last couple of weeks as we've launched the website and as Sports Williamsburg's continued to push our market. We now have William and Mary groups that are interested in working with us locally. 3-Step is providing some additional opportunities to come on board. Zoe Fleck wants to do an elite volleyball clinic. DART, which is a local gymnastics, or not local, but a gymnastics group, junior NBA, and so forth. Working with Visit Williamsburg, we've added the ladies ball, flag football event, Southern pickleball tournament, and the Scholastic Dual Wrestling event as well. And all of those will be multi-day opportunities, again, that drives tourism and showcases our facility. From a marketing standpoint, some of this is a little bit redundant, but we have a LinkedIn channel that we've launched. Over the last 3 weeks, we've had 1,200 impressions. We're starting to get more and more, and as Heidi continues to build out content and increase the posting frequency, we only expect that to grow exponentially as we continue to push the brand out into the marketplace. We have circulated some collateral pieces and content. She is working to continue to develop consistency in that brand and bring those pieces together so that's kind of a uniform message and a uniform aesthetic experience. So we will do some revisions, but we have pieces out that we're excited about, and we're working to finish up the catering, food and beverage options as well. So we really can push out the full force of what this facility can do from all aspects. Okay, I think that's everything on that part. And then this is just a snapshot of our website dashboard. We're starting to see increase in usage, increase in engagement time, and again, to be redundant, we're working to push that out on a more frequent basis, including newsletters, e-blasts, and a variety of other marketing avenues as well. Questions, comments, anything related to the report? Okay.
Would it be possible at the next meeting to show some of those marketing communication pieces?
Absolutely. We'll have slicks and we'll have links to that we can provide as well. Yep, great.
Could you just give me an A and a Z on the types of non-sports related people that you have meetings set up? You know, is it a quilting and a whatever? Just not just one on each end, kind of the variety.
Corvette Restoration Show is one. We've had groups contact us about our interest in hosting church services. We've had obviously the Cat Fest, Bird Quest. We met with those individuals just yesterday to talk more about that.
I think you're also talking about at Connect, right? So the appointment schedule
Connect.
hasn't been solidified yet.
Okay.
The way that it works is you schedule meetings and it's based on
Yep.
your track. We ended up procuring 2 tracks for this facility, one that's going to be sports in nature, and these are all multi-day kind of bid out
Yep.
type of experiences, and the other one's going to be more conference and conventions. But folks that come to these types are flower and garden shows,
Yep.
you know, there's a number of different boat, RV, those types of
All right.
shows. Multi-day conferences that are associated with an industry of some sort. In the next week, the appointment schedule is going to be available, and we'll have all 30, and we could share that with the board. They just didn't give us the list of who we can make appointments with yet, or we haven't finalized our list of who are.
Okay.
But that's the types of
All right.
groups that we'll be meeting with at Connect. And then Teams Conference is about
October.
4 or 5 weeks later from when this is happening, and we're hosting a golf outing for teams in advance. There's 120 players in that field, along with I think 32 different rights holders, and Sport Williamsburg and the Greater Williamsburg Sports and Event Center are going to be the host of the breakfast experience, along with have a speaking engagement. We're also going to have some swag prizes on each one of the golf carts that are going to be hosting. So that's direct sports content in nature. You might have a little bit of bleed out, but that's going to be another kind of instrumental show as we kind of round out the show season for.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Kemper? No? Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Construction report, MVP.
Good afternoon, Board. My name is Todd Walker. I'm the construction manager for the Greater Williamsburg Sports and Event Center. Do I have a presentation? My presentation? Is it? Thank you. All right. First, I'd like to start off. I have been for months saying that we were either on time or slightly ahead. As you can see at the top of my report, we're currently 11 working days ahead of schedule. That was a number that we came up from the last CPM schedule, the updated schedule we got with our pay app. And we anticipate as we get closer and closer to the finish of this project that we're going to gain more days as the schedule lays out now. So we'll update that, and then I will start showing on all my reports moving forward when we're looking to either have substantial completion done as a date and then final completion or turnover. So as we get closer and closer to the spring of next year, we're hoping we're well ahead of schedule. That's the hope anyway from the contractor too. So moving to milestone updates, permanent power, we got permanent power to the facility July 8th. Dominion Power was very easy to work with, and we got that permanent power about a month ahead of schedule. Building dried in, fully dried in September of this year. We've got most of the windows in the facility. We are leaving two sections off, obviously, to get the turf in, and then we're going to have our feature gym come in the backside or the east end of the hub space building. Those would be the only two areas that are left off, and that's obviously to get big equipment and materials in. HVAC startup is another milestone, so respectively August and then September for the hub area, and then for the sports courts. We'll start doing startup. Construction complete. Site work is pretty much held the whole time. We've done a little bit of curb and gutter out there, but for the most part, we're about 40% done. They got all the curb and gutter in on the ring road around the building. So they'll leave again and be back probably very early spring next year to finish everything up. Building progress, we're about 65% complete. So we've completed the feature gym window wall, as you can see here in this slide. We did have a DBI event out there. I know some folks were there, and the event was actually held in our feature gym. It is pretty impressive, that window wall. So if you guys get a chance to go out there and look at it, please do. Began all other window install. We're about 65% complete. When I turn this report into Dusty, we were about there. We're probably more like 80% complete with those windows now. We're almost to the west end of that building on the front. We have completed all interior framing. We've completed all the sprinkler rough-in, completed the MEP rough-in throughout. So we're about 95% there. There's little things here and there that they're still installing, but for the most part, we're done with that. And we have began to hung the gypsum board on the mezzanine in the gathering area. And then if you look in the hub space, well, I'll hit that in just a second. Hub space is pretty much done with drywall. We've started painting the kitchen, So in the hub space, total complete, 65%. We've completed the servery framing and the gypsum board in there. So if you guys have been in the building, obviously that last DBI event, when you're coming up the grand staircase, you can see all the framing is done in there. The walk-in cooler for the servery is installed. The walk-in freezer in the back of the kitchen is installed. And again, we have begun to start painting the kitchen. On the sports courts, we're about 45% complete. The turf roller system is installed. Let me get to that. I'm a little behind on my slides. So there's the turf rollout system. On the left is the control panel for it. That is obviously oriented that way so whoever is operating that can see the full sports court. That is a safety issue. But if you go and look at that roller, it is huge. I mean, it literally is from north to south, the full length of that PEMB. The turf winch system has been installed. The hydraulics are installed, which are on the other side of the room. It's a room off of the kitchen. All those hydraulics have been installed. And we have finished painting the PEMB ceiling. So we're all painted out in there right now. So obviously the next things that come up are, we have a lot of owner vendors that will be coming in there soon to pull wire data. The maple flooring needs to go down, and I understand those guys need about a month to 45 days to have that whole sports court to themselves. So we won't be able to do anything in the overhead or anything on the walls or anything anywhere in that PEMB while those guys are installing. And that'll come directly after startup. We obviously have to acclimate the building in order to install that wood. So meetings that we have, continued regularly scheduled OAC meetings, those are bi-weekly. Our next meeting is tomorrow. And then we have regularly scheduled meetings with Kemper on every other Thursday as well. Do you have any questions about the construction?
On the turf system, that's got to go in and they've got to install that before the maple, right? They come in and do that on the concrete floors, or they're going to do the hardwood floors first?
I will check the schedule. I think the turf is coming in prior. It all comes in pieces, and they sew it all together, and they'll start rolling that up, but I will get an answer to you.
Pretty sure that's what they told
Yeah.
us, that they had to put it together on the concrete before they put the hardwood down. So
Yeah.
that was a 5 or 6 week process too. So sounds like you got 10 to 12 weeks of flooring work.
Yeah, that was the conversation between, obviously, the project manager and I, because I have a lot of vendors that need to get into that overhead.
Yeah.
We have wireless access, we have speakers, we have to pull data through that whole thing. So, yeah. He doesn't get to hold me off and then blame it on me that we're late. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Todd. Legal report, Sans Anderson.
No, oops. Things have been generally, just general legal review, a few contracts, discuss issues, but nothing of terrible importance to report.
Thank you. Any questions for Sans Anderson? All right, open forum. This is an opportunity for anybody in the audience to address the board. If you'd like to come forward to the microphone, give us your name, address, and keep your comments to 5 minutes. We'll be glad to hear from you. I don't see anybody moving that way, so we'll close the open forum and move on to the closed session.
All right. I move that the Board of the Historic Triangle Recreation Facilities Authority convene and close meeting pursuant to VA Code Sections 2.2-3711A6, discussion or consideration of the investment of public funds where competition or bargaining is involved, where, if made public initially, the financial interests of the authority would be adversely affected, and it's regarding our accessory gym equipment.
Ms. Hutton?
Aye.
Mr. Bellamy? Aye. Chair Trivett? Vice Chair Stevens?
Aye.
Mr. Fuller?
Aye.
Mr. Carnifax?
All right, so we'll adjourn to closed session and return shortly. Closed session housekeeping to do.
Great. So I'd hereby move the Board of the Authority reconvene in an open meeting.
Second.
Ms. Hutton.
Aye.
Mr. Bellamy.
Aye.
Chair Trivett.
Aye.
Vice Chair Stevens.
Aye.
Mr. Fuller.
Aye.
Mr. Carnifex.
Aye.
And then a motion to certify, I hereby move that each member certify that to the best of their knowledge, one, only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meetings requirements by Virginia law were discussed in the closed meeting, and two, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the board.
Second.
Ms. Hutton.
Aye.
Mr. Bellamy.
Aye.
Chair Trivett.
Aye.
Vice Chair Stevens.
Aye.
Fuller.
Aye.
Mr. Carnifex.
Aye.
All right, next item on our agenda is new business, and the only item for action is consideration and authorization for the board chair to execute a contract for network and infrastructure cabling at the Greater Williamsburg Sports and Events Center. Mr. Barham.
Good afternoon, Chair Trivett, members of the board. The Sports and Events Center requires network and infrastructure cabling to support its mission. This contract before you today supports the installation and testing of all network and infrastructure cabling to support computers, wireless access, cable TV, and cameras. This project was designed by Bazon Cox. It's a local company out of Chesapeake and was priced using a state contract. While it is a budgeted expense within the budget of the Sports and Events Center, board authorization is required because the price exceeds $100,000. So the staff recommendation is that the board authorize the chair to execute a contract with Bazon Cox for network and infrastructure cabling for the Sports Center, not to exceed $124,307.87. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Is there a motion?
Motion to approve?
Could council make a request that if you make your motion to approve, make it subject to council finalization and review of the legal form?
That.
So be it.
She said.
Yeah, exactly.
What she said.
All right, so we have an amended motion that was accepted by the,
Ms. Hutton.
Aye.
Mr. Bellamy.
Aye.
Chair Trivett.
aye.
Vice Chair Stevens.
Aye.
Mr. Fuller.
Aye.
Mr. Carnifex.
Aye.
Brings us to adjournment.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Ms. Hutton.
Aye.
Mr. Bellamy.
Aye.
Chair Trivett.
Aye.
Vice Chair Stevens.
Aye.
Mr. Fuller.
Aye.
Mr. Carnifex.
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned.